What you see before you is the DNA Duo, paired with the AyaNeo Next Lite. Just kidding. This is the AyaNeo Pocket Evo. It is an Android gaming handheld. What is the DNA Duo, you might ask? Well, it's a detachable, versatile, portable display that becomes part of your device's DNA. What does that mean to you? Well, that could mean absolutely nothing because you don't have one yet. And that's what we're here to talk about today, because people have come to me and said, oh, are you ever gonna ship that thing? Oh, it's taken so long to ship it. Oh, I can't wait any longer for this to be shipped. Well, hate to break your bubble, hate to burst your bubble, hate to slam on your bubble, but honestly, you don't even know a single thing about what I have to do to get this to actually work and what I have gone through to get this to actually work the way it does. I have confirmed multiple times that the DNA Duo is something that is fully custom, including the driver board that's installed inside this, including the screen, including the hinge, including the adapters, including basically everything to do with this. I also live in Canada. That means that I don't have a factory or anything of the sort next door to me to actually walk up to and say, hey, I need this to be done today, tomorrow, now. I also have done a lot of research and development, meaning that I have tested different hinges, I've tested different hinge torques, I've tested different hinge parts, I've tested different magnets, I have tested different USB-C cables, and come up with the stuff that I have right now with the DNA Duo. Meaning that I didn't want to rush this. We know what happens when some companies rush things. Not gonna point out any names, but things end up breaking and things end up becoming fails and more money for that company. Technically, this is just a portable display, okay? It's a portable OLED 7-inch display that doesn't exist on the market, by the way, and it's basically got a unique feature to it where it detaches from the device that you are using it for, and you can use it for whatever else you want to with custom adapters. You can create your own custom adapters, which I have a DIY kit that's coming. You can buy custom adapters, which there's multiple on the website. You'll be able to also buy a service from me for custom adapters, and then I'll be able to get them printed for you via JLC PCB via some resin printed adapters, because it's a little bit expensive to injection mold a bunch of stuff, and be able to use them. So why am I here today? Well, it's basically to just let you guys know that 6 months ago, which was January 2025, was when I first presented the DNA Duo to you guys in the OLED fashion. I received the first ever driver board that was just a custom driver board that the company was working on for me behind the scenes, and it didn't do much of anything but show the display. A month later, because they were on their Chinese holiday, I finally said to them what's wrong with it, everything that needs to be changed, and what it needs to work for. That brings us over almost till March. I know I originally was hoping for April, but honestly, there were still bugs and issues and everything like that with the driver board that I had in place. I then had to get another sample of the driver board, plus a screen, which takes about a 1 week to 2 week turnaround because of UPS and everything like that coming from China. And then I end up doing testing like this, where I actually play the games and I actually make sure everything freaking works. And then I reiterate back to the company and say, hey, we need to fix this, we need to fix this, and this is what I think you should do to fix this. And then I end up waiting for them to do that, which is about a week of them engineering it and reprogramming whatever and basically redesigning and building the PCB board again from ground up, because it's not a matter of just plugging a USB-C cable into an adapter and saying, hey, there's a new program here for you. That's not how portable displays work. The program is EEPROM'd onto the actual device, and you have to load the firmware before you actually design and develop the actual PCB board and solder everything. Yeah, giving you guys a lot of information, aren't I? So then I got another one. Got the third iteration of the driver board by this point, which was about April, and then there are still more issues. I found out that it didn't work with certain devices, and then I had to reiterate back to the company to check these devices and make sure that they worked. So then they ended up reprogramming it, sent me another actual design and another loaded PCB board that they had to redo and another screen and everything. And then I found out that 2 more devices weren't working. So I had them redo these devices again, redo the PCB board, and now we're at iteration number 6. That means that iteration number 6, which I am actually waiting for to be shipped to me, they sent me pictures and videos showing that it works, by the way, is coming, and I'm going to show some actual devices being used with it. It's basically taken me almost 1 month per iteration of these PCB driver boards to be able to actually get this to function. Like I said a few minutes ago, I don't live in China. I can't just walk over to this factory or company or anything and be like, hey, Can you show me this? Can I help you with this? Can I show you what's going wrong? Can I help you with the redesigning the program so it'll work properly? Because that would be a lot faster. But the fact that I have to wait 1 to 2 weeks to actually get this shipped and delivered to me, and then deal with companies being on strike, so I had to like pay extra for every time I had to actually do this because I used UPS, and almost every time I got a sample board I had to pay like $30 to $40 Canadian for just a sample to be shipped and custom to my actual address, not addressed. It's a lot of work. It's not a freaking night over or one over thing where it's just an overnight project that I decided to share in June and say, hey, it's going to be ready in August. This is something that I've been taking a lot of time with. Now, what about the original model that I shared on Indiegogo back in October or November? I think it was November. Yeah, November. That was an LCD model. And I told you guys that this model was something that, yeah, I did have already in hand. This was something that I could have just bought a whole bunch of driver boards and said, hey, here it is. Here's your LCD model. But honestly, I knew that you guys would not like the LCD model as much compared to the OLED model that's sitting right in front of us right now, because the LCD model was about 60 grams heavy. I didn't care. My daughter, who played on it with the Steam Deck, didn't care. People that I handed it to didn't care. But looking back at it, the design was a lot larger. It was a lot bigger and a lot different. Did look a little bit, you know, just thrown together kind of thing, in my opinion, even though it was something that I was really passionate about, and I still am really passionate about the one that you're seeing right now. So yeah, I decided in December, after hearing some feedback, that OLED was the way to go. And with all the devices that were coming out, I was like, OLED is definitely the way to go. And the cool thing about this is that, say you have an LCD Steam Deck, you want some OLED, you could just play on the top screen because it has charging pass through, and or just play it mobile if you want to, because it's got a very low power efficient USB-C connection, and use the OLED. Yeah, you could use your OLED DNA Duo as your main screen, and it's also more comfortable to play with the top screen rather than the bottom screen. Yeah, I'll let you know that. That's something that I tested a lot of. A lot of people ask me, how's the weight, how's the distribution, how's that kind of stuff. If I didn't think this was a smart idea at any means, I would not have come up with this. If companies didn't think it was a smart idea to rip my design off, they probably wouldn't have come up with this. You know who I'm talking about. Probably. Yeah, this product was not meant to replace your DS or 3DS or your clamshell device and shove it in your pocket. This product was to help with fixing everything wrong with DS and 3DS emulation. That everything wrong is to do with the lack of a second screen. And I've been passionate about this product ever since I released it. I've been passionate about this product since I first presented it. Yeah, I fell down a rabbit hole of finding out that I guess there was like 1,000,001 different people that have come up with different designs for the Steam Deck, that is, for something like this. And I even recently saw somebody that made something for their Asus ROG Ally that was very clunky and very large and heavy looking. I think it was like a 10-inch tablet style screen or something, and I showed them this thing, and yeah, they knew about it, I guess, but they said that they didn't want to wait for pre-orders. That's what we're here for today. The pre-orders, I really appreciate everybody that has ordered one, and the pre-order thing was basically so that I can get some numbers together and I can get these shipped out to the numbers of people that have pre-ordered one of these so far. And that was basically what the pre-orders were for. A lot of people said, hey, when you put up a website and you do a pre-order, I'll definitely buy one. They didn't trust Indiegogo, I guess. And the numbers showed, especially in December. I had over 200 and something pre-orders just in December by itself. I think it was, or maybe 300, something like that. And that was crazy. And then it's been even crazier lately. I've had more pre-orders the last month. In June, I had a lot of pre-orders, and that's pretty nuts to see how many I've had in June, considering another company ripped my design off again. And people that want to come here and say they didn't rip me off, there's been things like this forever. Well, I already mentioned that. They definitely know what they're doing. This company that called me unhinged at CES last year, I don't really care. I'm not supporting that company. I don't really care. You guys know who I'm talking about if you've been here for a while. A lot of people have even said to them, yeah, you ripped this guy off. A lot of people have even said to me that I should sue. I'm not going to waste my time on that because there's going to be companies out there that are going to try to do stuff like this. But I'm going to be the first company that has released a portable detachable OLED display that becomes part of your device's DNA in hopefully by no later than the end of August, if everything else continues to go the way it has. People keep asking me when. I don't exactly know the date, because I'm still waiting on even the injection molds. That is another process that actually I have to test out, make sure everything is functioning properly, make sure everything is actually, you know, fitting properly, like the PCB board inside the molds, and so on and so forth. So what is the DNA Duo? while you're looking at it. It is, like I said, the detachable portable OLED display that literally becomes part of your device's DNA, because I've thought about everything to do with how to design the adapters, the magnetic hinge adapters, that is, the actual hinge itself, the design of the actual screen, to make it so that you can do this. You just detach it from the device, and then you reattach it, just like that. Isn't that crazy? And then if you have another device that you want to attach it to, want to go like this. By the way, don't touch the touchscreen when you're playing online. If you wanted to attach it to another device, you got the magnetic adapter, attaches to that, and then you plug it in and start playing it. Now this one doesn't have any magnets in it because this is just a 3D printed model of the Ambernic RG556. But if I was done, I wanted to go back and play it on here, grab my custom USB-C cable with my brand on it, open it up. I'm not sure if this is gonna work because I know Azahar is still in development for this. Yeah, see, it doesn't work because you have to basically shut down the app and then go back into it. There's a bug for that, but ignore that. Yeah, the DNA Duo. It's been a progress, and I hope you guys understand that. I hope you're still patient, because it's coming. I promise you that. Nothing scammy here, nothing ignorant here to say, nothing toxic, because I don't like toxicity at all. And why I'm saying that at the end is because there's a lot of really ignorant Reddit trolls out there, and that's why I don't have a Reddit anymore, because of those types of people. But if you want to go get yourself a DNA Duo, pre-order it today. Become a member for as little as $3 a month. You can get it for 35% off for the bundle. If you have a problem with the price, tell me where you can find the exact same panel, another driver board, another screen, for $159 USD. And even at $199 with an adapter and custom USB-C cables and other parts and stuff, tell me again where you can find this, because I'll hire you next time I actually outsource any suppliers overseas to make this a lot cheaper for me so I can actually make some money.